Hell, this is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
I totally get our intro stuck in my head at work.
Oh, excuse me. Put that stuck in your head.
Yeah, well, welcoming you to episode 108 of the Shred Shack podcast, your bi-weekly source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal. Let's start with some old business.
You're not even trying the second half, are you?
Oh, I'm not even going to bother.
Airing weekly on iTunes, Mixcloud, and Google Play for now, as well as on YouTube at youtube.com/ShredShack and youtube.com/AdamantTemplum.
If you're listening to this, you know how to find us. Let's go into old business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
No old business.
No business.
Morning.
Okay, let's go on to new business.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
I have not seen the script, and I don't have it up right now, so...
Well, I have only one new release.
Okay.
And I think it came out when we recorded the last podcast, but I didn't get it yet.
Yeah.
And it's the new Grand Magus Wolf God.
Okay.
Oh my God, is it so good. So good. I have to say that it definitely follows the Grand Magus formula, but the thing is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, dude.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. I mean, we're talking like, original Coke, 11 herbs and spices from KFC. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it.
Is it better than Sword Songs?
Yes, it is.
Ah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Because one of the complaints that we had with Sword Songs is that it had like a mid album slump almost. This one, not so much. Like,
Gosh.
if at all. Like,
Yeah.
not at all. This album is straightforward, 10 tracks, one of them being the instrumental, but they put it at the beginning of the album, so it doesn't kind of slow the album down like Sword Songs did. And it's perfect. Front to back, amazing, catchy as hell songs, amazing riffs, just huge sound, and honestly, it could have been, if you put Triumph and Power, Sword Songs, and Wolf God in a row, it's like a trilogy of records, because they all pretty much like sonically sound the same. Like, you can't really sonically pick out like if they tried something experimental on this one or not, but it really just fits the mold.
I'm sure the ones before that are part of that same...
Yeah, I mean, but this, like, it just feels like we just picked up right where we left off in 2015.
Gotcha.
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So are you gonna, since a certain album was called by Pat and Reese already, are you calling this one for May?
Well, it came out in April.
Are you calling this one for April?
I might as well.
Okay.
I might as well, because it is so flipping good.
Okay. All right. I did not listen to any new releases. I have been listening to my iPod on shuffle, as well as classic rock stations at work. Listening to classic rock stations, listening to some of the same songs over and over. I've had more. It's been more of an inclination toward what I like and what I don't like. Like, I'm starting to cement those songs that, like, I like this song. I fucking hate this song. like Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar. Fucking love that song.
Yeah.
Jack and Diane by Cougar Mellencamp. Fucking hate that song.
Yeah.
What else was there? I started hearing Janie's Got a Gun a billion times.
I haven't heard that song in like 10 years.
Yeah, I've been hearing it a billion times. Even outside of work, I'm listening to, like, I just turned on the radio and it was on. And I have a new appreciation for that song. I Love Rock and Roll by was it Joan Jett?
Joan Jett.
Yeah, not a fan. Yeah, so I'm starting to get these stronger inclinations as far as like I'm realizing more and more that I don't like the Steve Miller Band. I cannot stand the Steve Miller Band. So
No Space Cowboy for you?
No Space Cowboy.
No Joker?
Fuck off. I can't.
I love that song.
I hate that song so much. I fucking hate it. But there's that. I've been listening to the Carrie Asher EP because I went and caught her show, or half of her show, a few weeks ago.
At Fitzgerald's in the Yard.
In the Yard at Fitzgerald's. She was playing. She was playing in the Yard. Inside was Mob Rules, tribute to Black Sabbath, and another tribute band. But I went and was watching Carrie Asher, and I got. I finally picked up. I got my hands on a physical copy of Players and Dealers by Forever Town.
Oh.
So I was listening to that yesterday, and I miss that band. They haven't played shows in a while.
Yeah.
They've been doing other endeavors and everything, but I miss seeing that band live.
They're always fantastic.
Yeah.
What a treat they were as a power trio.
Yeah, and the album is great. Some of the songs I don't recall. I'm like, geez, like you guys must have been playing some newer stuff that you never recorded for a lot of the shows. You know, obviously songs like My Click are on there, which I'm gonna get a clip of that, and every time we mention the Shred Shack, I'm just gonna play that. But aside from that, it's been the iPod on shuffle, which I've had to, like, it was one of those things where I started it and it got to like 100 and something, and then I put something else on there and it resets it, and I'm like, so you gotta start from zero again.
How far have you gotten in one of those iPod shuffles?
The most is somewhere around like 150.
Really?
Yeah.
I went hardcore with one time, and I think I got into the thousands.
It's because I keep getting new stuff and I keep adding it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. And then also, like, once you hear something, then you're like, oh man, and then you get stuck on like that particular band or that particular album. And
one of the albums I listened to get an earful of was Fight. I'm not sure. I think it was Small Deadly Spaces.
Rob Halford.
Yeah, Halford's first side project after he left Judas Priest, following Painkiller. It was mostly because one of my top 3 for February, the vocalist has a grit like Rob Halford's regular grit. And I was like, okay, let's listen to Fight and see, like, you know, how, like, I in my review of it for the top 3, I'm saying there's a resemblance there.
And you picked Fight and not anything by Priest?
Well, because it's not Priest-like.
Oh.
It's not. It doesn't have that dual guitar attack. It's more. I mean, musically, it's even more towards, like, grunge, post-grunge, Alice in Chains, modern Alice in Chains.
Okay.
So, but it has some of the elements of Fight, which, you know, if you want to call it that, if you want to call it what it is, it's kind of watered-down Priest.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, that's been it. What else have you been listening to?
It's been a busy couple of weeks here. I just moved, so the week leading to the move, I wasn't listening to too much except for Wolf God pretty much on repeat. And the week after that, it's been a lot of settling in and a lot of errands doing that. So just a few albums here. Funeral for a Friend, Hours. I really love that record. Orphanland, The Never-Ending Story of a Warrior, and Sepultura, Roots.
Why Roots in particular?
I went with a pun. I was going back to the roots of training. Because I'm starting up with heavy training again, so.
Oh wait, hold on. I have a clip for this one.
Move this man!
Motherfucker, you gotta get over that shit. Let me tell you.
Fucking puns. I hate
Puns, motherfucker.
puns.
Yes.
Puns can suck it.
Yeah, I went back to the roots, and I'm starting very basically, pretty much all over again on certain exercises, and roots was the choice.
Before we carry on, by the way, have you seen my new posters? Have you seen my Optimus Prime poster?
Optimus Prime. Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Badass.
I was gonna say it looks a little fuller in here today.
Yeah.
The Boondock Saints 2 poster is not a new poster, but it's new up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started putting more up here to decorate the war room.
The war room. There's no
Yeah.
fighting in the war room.
This is basically the extension of the 8th Sanctuary. the 8th Sanctuary being my office.
And then we're back talking on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just pointing that out.
All right. But you mentioned classic rock radio, and I was online at the checkout at HEB the other day, and I was so like, all of a sudden just sitting there, and it's Alice Cooper, 18, on.
I'm 18. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great fucking song to listen to on Tuesday morning at fucking the supermarket.
When weird stuff like that comes on, like I've talked about being in Walmart at 8 in the morning and Rainbow in the Dark comes on.
Yes, isn't that the best?
Yeah, it's like I've talked about weird shit coming on while at the supermarket, and it's always the best.
And it's funny because I don't think there's obviously not a radio station that they're listening to because there's no like commercials or anything like that. So
Yeah.
there's definitely somebody in charge of their music choices somewhere in corporate HEB, and they're always like, you know what would be really good? I'm 18 by Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Randomly throughout the day.
Yeah. Just throw it in there, make sure like nobody notices. It's like when we played Hot in Here by Nelly. We played it on repeat.
Oh, in the Tower?
And when we were in Tower, and it's like we're waiting for somebody to notice. and it's like and there's a comedian out there. Yes, there's a comedian who's talking about Tom Jones, and they're at like a diner where it has one of those little machines, and they're playing the same song by Tom Jones. I think it's Not Unusual, and it's one of those things where like after like the second or third time you're like, wow, this is a really long song, but then you start to realize that it's playing on repeat.
You're just paying attention to different parts of it.
Yeah. And then just to throw people off, after like the 10th time, you play a different song, and then go back. I don't remember the exact shtick, but that's basically how it went, and it's basically like as soon as it plays a different song, there's a sigh of relief.
And then you go back to the other song, and it's like, motherfucker.
Pretty much.
But I don't know why you would put yourself through that kind of torture, because that shit sucks.
Yeah.
That song is awful.
I don't know it well enough.
Ugh.
There's one song I know by Tom Jones, and it's called "Sex Bomb." And
I was thinking about you guys and Nelly. That song is awful.
that song, I can deal with. I can.
Ugh.
It's.
I'm telling you.
I've heard some worse ones.
Well, some of the shit that's on the radio right now is just like, man, this is like when I do driving for Redacted.
Yeah.
I put on just the top 40. I'm sure I've told you, but it's seriously like you can set your clock to these songs. Like it's the same like 10 to 15 songs.
Yeah.
if it's not the same 10 to 15 songs, it's at least the same handful of artists. Like, I don't think I've listened to as much Taylor fucking Swift or Ariana Grande in the history of the world than I did driving for Uber for one fucking morning.
I don't know anything. I like if you told me like what if a song was playing and you said it was Ariana Grande, I would make the connection. As of right now, I have no idea what she sounds like.
You know what? And ignorance is bliss. But I'm sure, guaranteed, you've heard at least one of her songs in passing.
I'm sure. Taylor Swift definitely, and I don't care for her. But at my my second job, not the morning job, the other job, at redacted number 2.
Also redacted.
They thrive on distractions for the sessions, so they have music playing, and at the same time, simultaneously, they have a country station playing the same stuff. So I hear the same fucking country songs, which I fucking hate. Like, again, it's one of those things where I start to really hone in on what I like and dislike. And I fucking hate like 99% of country.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I say 99% because Johnny Cash is considered country. And if you want to sit here and argue semantics and all that kind of stuff, then Johnny Cash is the only thing I will really go for. But, like, they play country, and I fucking hate everything I hear. It is just horseshit.
They probably are singing about horseshit sometimes, too.
Probably.
Oh, my God. I know. Dude, I know.
There's a comedian, Pablo Francisco, who talks about country music, and he says all they sing about is pancakes and sausage. But I fucking hate it. And then on the other side, like on the other end, on the front of the building, in the front on the computer, they play Christian rock. They play K-Love, which is basically just all Christian music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which like some of it you can tolerate if you don't listen to the lyrics, because like
are they like the upfront, like blatant?
Oh, it's
Christian?
blatant as fuck.
Because I can deal with Christian bands, and I use these quotations because I don't know if they go out of their way to do it, but who are more subtle, who are far more subtle. Like I think for a long time, Demon Hunter was considered a Christian metal band.
Yeah. Because
their subcontext was very Christian,
Yeah.
But the thing is, they do it in a way that the interpreter, the listener, can interpret their lyrics in any way. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. They don't blatantly say, Christ is risen, all that shit. They use words, and they use metaphors, and they use things that you can relate to other aspects of your life that not necessarily being Christian. So it's a little bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Like that stuff, where it's open for interpretation, I can stand. But when it's like blatantly so in your face, I can't fucking stand it.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Yeah, and that's what this music is, and it's also like I'm gonna be going to my session in a little while, and in the lobby, in the waiting room there, they play the same station. And I'm like, no, I can't. I fucking can.
Yeah,
so, it's just.
It's so funny because I can totally listen to a whole bunch of like blatantly satanic stuff all day, every day. But man, that Christian stuff can't do it.
But even blatantly satanic stuff, I'm like, are you kidding me? like.
I find the entertainment value in the blatantly satanic stuff because it's like they just really are going out of their way. Like listening to Deicide, come on, that's just ridiculous.
At least you find you're finding humor in that. Like all I'm finding in listening to blatant Christian music is pain. Like there's no soothing this hurt. It's so.
At least with the satanic stuff, it's a little bit more imaginative and a little bit more. The imagery is a little bit more fun.
I mean, you can argue that one.
For me, it is. For me, it is.
Yeah, you can argue that one, but
I appreciate it a little bit. I appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's musically, it's more appealing to us because usually it's metal, you know. You're not gonna see
I would love to hear like a pop band doing satanic shit. I think that'd be hilarious. Oh wait, Ghost. Right, awesome. Done. Win.
I was gonna say you have Ghosts.
Win.
All right,
I won that one.
We're done. Yeah, when the Grammys put them in the pop section, then when them.
Ooh. Yes. Which they totally could have with Dance Macabre.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
Absolutely.
I mean, if Beyonce can be nominated for a rock song, I think we can get a Ghost nominated for a pop song.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go on to. I don't know what's next because I don't have.
Oh, we got general news coming up next.
Okay, normally you start with obituaries, so.
Yeah, we are starting with obituaries, unfortunately.
Okay.
Phil McCormick, the frontman from rock band Molly Hatchet, has passed away.
Really?
Mm-hmm. No official cause of death has been revealed, but the 102.7 WSNR radio station has reported that it looks like a heart attack. He was 58 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's still pretty young, too.
It definitely is. Definitely is, considering some of our, our icons are still kicking it at like 70.
Yeah.
You definitely shouldn't be close to kicking the bucket nowadays until you hit 70 in our world.
Yeah, well, yeah. The length of life. What's the term for it?
Life expectancy?
Yes, the life expectancy should be somewhere in the 70s to 80s. But I don't know if Molly Hatchet was the type of band that was party type.
I have no idea.
Kat, what are you doing?
I'm not very familiar with them at all.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've heard one or two songs and they're enjoyable. Yeah. Kat, it's a can. You dope.
But that's it, fortunately enough. Only one obituary for us today.
Oh, thank God.
All
And
right.
Let's move on to some general news.
Yeah, general news here. All right. Marilyn Manson is rumored to have recruited Brandon Pertzborn to play drums for his namesake band. The Texas-based Pertzborn, who is apparently only 24, has toured with a number of different artists over the years, including Black Flag, Doyle, and Horror, the latter of which opened for Marilyn Manson last fall. In May 2018, Brandon played with Suicidal Tendencies, filling in for Dave Lombardo when they opened the Misfits reunion show in Newark, New Jersey. Drummer Gil Sharon announced his departure from Marilyn Manson in March, explaining in a statement that it was time for him to pursue other current and future projects. So, good deal.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's like they're mentioning people by real names here. I'm wondering if members of Marilyn Manson's band still take on character names.
Yeah.
Because we had Twiggy Ramirez, Madonna Wayne Gacy, et cetera, but there's been like no mention of that. I don't know if he does that anymore, or if that was just the members of his original band, and these are just hired guns.
Maybe
to kind of fill in.
Maybe he's just like, just get back there.
It's like, you don't matter. It's Marilyn Manson. Marilyn.
Marilyn.
He needs to do a character that's like, instead of America, it's Maryland. Marilyn Manson. Cowboy hat and everything. I want it. I think it'd be the best.
Well, I'm sure you go back to news reports from the 90s, and there's someone complaining about Marilyn Manson's music, and there's somebody who sits there and says it like that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet.
Well, I'm guessing at any protest line that's at his shows in the Midwest to the South, it's all about Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
All right, here we go.
America.
America. UFO will be rejoined by Neil Carter as they continue their 50th anniversary Last Orders tour following the recent passing of Paul Raymond. Raymond died from a heart attack on April 13th, just days after UFO completed the UK and Ireland leg of Last Orders tour with a sold-out show at London's Shepherd's Bush Empire. Neil was previously in UFO between 1981 and 1983, having played on the albums The Wild, The Willing, and The Innocent, Mechanics, and Making Contact. Before he joined UFO, he was in Wild Horses, and he later continued his career with Gary Moore. So the guy's got some chops.
Yeah, and obviously he's been part of UFO before.
Yeah. So it looks like they are continuing, and they will finish out their. This is supposed to be their farewell tour anyway.
Yeah.
So they are filling up their commitments to this tour, despite the passing of Paul Raymond.
Yeah. Good.
Speaking of another band who had someone passing away and continued on for several years after that, Thin Lizzy have announced the bass player for their forthcoming run of European festival appearances to commemorate 50 years since the formation of the original band and 40 years since the release of their seminal Black Rose album. Troy Sanders from Mastodon will be joining guitarist Scott Gorham, Darren Wharton on keyboards, Ricky Warwick on lead vocals, Damon Johnson on guitar, and Judas Priest Scott Travis on drums for 4 festivals this summer.
Shit.
That's a lineup worth seeing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a super group on its own.
Right?
Yeah, I mean.
And Troy Sanders apparently is a huge Thin Lizzy fan, so he's probably just like creaming himself for this one.
That's the same thing with Damon Johnson. That's part of the reason why he was part of. He's a guitar player for Black Star Riders, which is basically Thin Lizzy 2.0.
Yeah.
He was part of Alice Cooper's band when he was invited to join Black Star Riders, and he leapt the chance.
Oh, of course.
He even got Alice Cooper's blessing.
Oh no! If you didn't get to finish watching the documentary I was watching when you went to work that one day, Hired Gun.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper says that anybody that comes to his band who wants to leave, he's like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You do you, buddy. I got a whole cavalcade of musicians who want to play with me.
Yeah. and that's awesome. I mean, on so many levels of him and for his legacy.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, but imagine being a huge fan of a band and then playing in that band. Eric Singer playing for Kiss and Black Sabbath.
You have Ripper singing for Judas Priest.
Jason Newsted playing bass for Metallica.
Yeah.
You know, this is the thing of dreams.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah. Good for you, Troy. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for general news. Now we are into the crime blotter.
Okay.
All right, but fortunately enough, it has nothing to do with any artist.
Okay.
No crime committed by any artist that we know of. We have 2 guitars belonging to Lamb of God were allegedly stolen Thursday morning on May 2nd before the band's concert at Action Pavilion in Phoenix, Arizona. According to Lamb of God guitarist Willie Adler, his, quote, main beloved Warbird, along with bassist John Campbell's one-of-a-kind hand-painted bass, went missing after the musicians had left the area and the culprits made their way into the back of our semi to commit this felony. Adler posted several photos of both instruments on his Instagram and appealed to everyone in the Phoenix area to be on the lookout for the guitars.
So if they show up on Craigslist or something.
You always hear, it's really interesting to hear about these stories sometimes where a guitar goes missing for a decade or so, and then they get reunited with the original artist. You hear those stories sometimes?
Sometimes.
I love that shit. That shit's great. But much rather have it not be as like one of those things that like because it got stolen.
Yeah.
It would be like, it got thought to be lost in a fire or something like that, and all of a sudden it shows up, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least here for some crime blotter, Deep Purple's former accountant was sentenced to 6 years and 4 months in prison for stealing £2.2 million, which is approximately $2.87 million, from two companies that managed the band's royalties. Deepak Rao, who, that's the guy, that's his name, Deepak, who worked for the band between 1992 and 2014, diverted large sums of money from the accounts of Deep Purple Overseas Ltd. And HEC Enterprises Ltd. into his personal accounts. He covered his tracks by excluding them from the financial accounts and restricting access to the company's bank statements. He then invested the cash into a number of money-making schemes, all of which later turned out to be scams and resulted in Rao losing the money.
You dumbass.
So he pretty much stole money and gave it to other crooks. Like, it's just a circle of stupidity.
You're a dick!
Like, what the fuck, man?
Like,
Yeah, I know. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, I can't. It shouldn't be funny, but it fucking is.
It's people like that who deserve to get screwed over like that, you know?
Yeah,
And
but
the thing is, you don't hear enough about it.
unfortunately, it's still in the hands of some other criminal. But just it's in and of itself, this story is just. That's it's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. Like.
You're a dick.
You dumb bastard.
Yes, we need that clip.
Seriously.
We've needed that clip for a while.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
You dumb bastard.
It's not a schooner, it's a sailboat. You know
Oh.
what? That's just a guy in a suit. Oh, Kevin Smith is making a reboot of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's probably going to be great. But I could really use a reboot of Mallrats.
Yeah, well, they all happen in the same universe.
I know,
so,
but I can still totally use one.
yeah, but
Maybe with a little bit more continuity.
yeah.
That'd be nice.
Ah,
All right, are you ready for your favorite section here? Because the Metallica hasn't broken shit yet.
okay.
Metallica did just start a new tour in Lisbon. I saw clips of it from actually on Nurgle's fucking Instagram page. Because he's the greatest. He's one of the greatest guys to follow. He's awesome. But so I'm sure they'll be breaking records across Europe this summer. So I'm sure we'll be reporting about that soon.
Sure.
But anyway, it's time for some feuding.
Yeah.
Feuding.
Is it funny?
Well, according to The Blast, Motley Crue singer Vince Neil has denied owing his former lawyers nearly $200,000 and has accused the attorneys of overcharging him for years. Last December, the lawyers at Howard and Howard Attorneys filed court documents claiming that they were owed $364.01. It sounds like a number on like The Price is Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that. What?
That $1 over the other person's bet.
Yeah.
This to be a little bit closer.
Yeah. It's that dick guess.
Yeah. They were requesting the judge allow them to hit Vince with a lien in that amount. A lot of this stems from that whole thing where Vince Neil was accused of attacking a young photographer and pulling her hair and all that good shit.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff stems from that incident
Nice.
and the attorney fees from that incident.
Yeah. This is a joke too. Yeah, this is definitely a joke.
Well, in in the spirit of splitting things off and having two versions of things,
Okay.
the Cro-Mags, all right, members John Joseph and Mackie Jason have reached an agreement with their former bandmate Harley Flanagan over the rights to the group's name. Going forward, Joseph and Jason will perform as Cro-Mags JM, while Flanagan will get to use the Cro-Mags name for his own version of the band. Entombed and Entombed AD. That's what this sounds like to me. Where's your Sideshow Bob grumble? Where is it?
I don't have it on here.
Oh, what?
It's one of the clips that got randomly lost, and
I'm calling bullshit.
Quick, shoot me in the face!
Isn't it the stupidest fucking thing? Damn, it's so dumb.
I hate this.
It's so common now too. You know, you have two versions of LA Guns out there, I think. And then I think Rat has two versions of it.
Yeah.
Bobby Blotter's Rat, and then Rat, and then there's Great White, and Jack Russell's Great White. Like, what the fuck?
Just like make a new name or go under your own name. Like, I feel like something like Great White and Jack Russell, that should be like, he should go under his own name.
Right? Because it's only really him, and then he has a backing band. So it's not like any of the guys who originally wrote the music is with him. It's just him. So why not just go as Jack Russell? Why does it have to be Jack Russell's Great White? I don't get it.
You can even say Jack Russell of Great White.
Yeah, that makes even more sense.
Yeah, like you can simply do that. Like
or Jeff Tate, the voice of Queensryche. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's exactly who he is.
Simple enough. It's just hard to put on a fucking marquee, I guess.
True.
I don't know.
It's silly. It's really dumb. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's been going on for so long too. I mean, I always think about the first thing that comes to mind, that the original group that did this, and it's probably not even the first group that did this, is the Temptations. There were two versions of the Temptations for a while there.
Were there?
Yeah.
I did. I don't know. Just it gives me a fucking headache.
Yeah.
I'm sure the legal proceedings gave them a headache, so they're trying to pass that headache on to the fans.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
it's so silly. I can't get it.
It's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on.
Yeah.
No Alcoholica today.
Okay.
We are in a sober house. And we are moving on to merchandising.
I still haven't gotten the club, so.
That's all right. I'll do my fake Jewish accent, and we'll just go with it. All right. Knuckle Bonds. We've talked about these guys before. But they are the creator of the Rock Icons of Music Collectible series, has announced the production of a new range of ghost figures.
I saw those.
Available for pre-order now at this location as part of their website. Each of the new ghost figures, which one of them is Papa Amrphis 2, and two different versions of Cardinal Copia, one in a red cassock and the other one in his black tuxedo, his Sexy Magician outfit.
Sexy Magician.
Is incredibly detailed and highly exclusive. Each one is hand-painted, numbered, and comes with a certificate of authenticity on the base. This is limited. This is a limited edition collectible. Only 3,000 of each statue are made by hand and sold worldwide.
I saw those. They look pretty cool.
They look amazing.
They look pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah.
They look pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't get one.
But kudos to the people who do.
Yeah. For you 3,000 out there who go pick one up, awesome. You take a picture, you tell me how it is. But I'm not enough of a fan of Ghost, and I also have pets.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Rest in peace, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie, that still breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That still.
It broke Eddie's heart too.
It also broke his face.
Yeah, that was devastating. In case we didn't actually go through the story, I had a nice big trooper doll.
Did I give that to you?
I think I bought that one.
Oh, okay.
You've gotten me something. You got me you got me the Freddie Mercury one, I think.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, which one of these days I'm actually gonna bring out, and it's gonna be part of like our little arrangement out here.
In the war room.
It's in the war room. It's our light in the war room. But I had a real. It was. I think it was like it wasn't ceramic, but it was a.
Yeah, it was something.
It was a real deal trooper replica, you know, and it had a flag and everything. The flag broke a long time ago. It was kind of in pieces anyway, because it was a very fragile thing and it just kind of got messed up. But it was sitting on my mantle, and my cats like to fight, and one of them knocked it down, and it broke into several pieces, and I did not want to glue it back together, so I threw it away.
Heartbreaking.
It was very heartbreaking because for days, for a couple of days, it just sat in pieces on my table, and I just looked at it and cried.
Yeah, I would sit there. I'd be eating my breakfast and crying into my oatmeal and be like, "Man, Eddie, we hardly knew you."
Yeah. Of course, you know this involves my cat Edward.
Edward the Great.
Edward the Great deciding that he does not like competition.
For real.
And just knocking out Eddie.
You bastard.
Punk ass cat.
Son of a bitch. Edward the not so great. Fucker.
Which is funny because we have this nice ceramic teacup sitting on the mantle that we got from a friend's bridal shower. That's perfectly fine. But Eddie broke. Speaking
Damn it,
of
Edward.
bunch of balls ass. That's all I gotta say about that.
Fucker.
Punk ass cats.
All right, before we break Dan's heart anymore, let's get out of merchandising here.
Yeah.
We're going to go into some recording news. Not much, but there's some.
Okay.
We got Rainbow. We released a new digital single, The Storm, on May 17th via Minstrel Hall Music. The song is said to be a rocked-up remake of an old Blackmore's Night track from the album Fires at Midnight, which was issued back in 2001.
That's an album that you have.
I do have that one, so I'm going to have to go back and listen to that song.
Yeah.
To see what to expect. Tarja will release her new studio album In the Raw on August 30th via Ear Music. I haven't heard any of her solo stuff.
Neither have I.
But apparently it's vague. It's, you know, she's been pretty prolific since she left Nightwish.
Yeah. Yes, she has.
I mean, I think she's probably released about 2 to 3 times as many albums as they have.
Yeah. You know, Nightwish has usually been kind of slow in releasing material.
Because I think she had I don't know if it's necessarily like a pop album, but she has something that's definitely not a metal album, and then she's had a couple of solo metal albums that have done pretty well. She's
just done things.
Yeah.
You know, she's kept at it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Anvil will enter Sound Lodge Studios in Germany this fall to begin recording their new album for a 2020 release.
Cool.
Destruction will release their 17th studio album, Born to Perish, on August 9th via Nuclear Blast. The disc was recorded in January and February of 2019 with V.O. Pulver, who has worked with Propane, Burning Witches, and Nervosa, at Little Creek Studios in Switzerland, and is the first Destruction album to feature Randy Black on drums and second guitarist Damien Eskik.
Right on.
Stick with that. Babymetal will release a new single, Elevator Girl, on May 10th. The track, which the band has already performed live, will appear on Babymetal's next album due later this year.
been a little while since we heard anything from Babymetal.
Well, they're now a duo because one of them left.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure something like that is replaceable. So.
Yeah. All right, that's it for recording news. We are now into the good that men do.
Oh, okay.
All the proceeds from Five Finger Death Punch's cover of Blue on Black will go to the Gary Sinise Foundation, which honors America's defenders, veterans, first responders, their families, and those in need.
Not surprising.
Have you heard that song? Have you heard that cover?
Yeah, when they initially released it, and they put the video out for it, I heard it.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm a fan of their guests on it because they got Kenny Wayne Shepherd to play guitar and backing vocals, and Brian May has an absolutely fantastic solo in it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What's it called? I was gonna say their cover of Bad Company. I've heard a couple times.
They do good covers.
Yeah.
Like I think when Pat posted onto the Shred Shack Facebook page, he said that
They should
just be a cover band because all their covers are really good. They did House of the Rising Sun, they did Bad Company, they've done this song. They've done some pretty damn good covers.
Okay.
Speaking of covers, and like a little bit of a super group here, Serge Tankin does vocals for a new version of the Blue Oyster Cult classic Godzilla, and the guitarist is Brandon Smalls from Death Clock, and the drummer is Gene Hoglan. And the track is so good.
Yeah, so you. I think I saw you post this.
Yeah, it is so good. It's pretty damn awesome. Like I expected like just a very faithful representation or whatever cover of the song, but they do something just slightly differently that just makes it so good. Like I highly recommend people just checking out the song. It's just great. I highly recommend it.
Is it for anything?
I don't know. I mean, there's a new Godzilla movie coming out. I'm not sure if it's tied into that, where if it's going to be on the soundtrack or something like that, or they're just doing it for fun.
I thought this was a charitable thing.
I don't really particularly know.
Oh.
I didn't read any article. I just listened to the song. So, but I highly recommend people just checking it out because number one, Godzilla, the Blue Oyster Cult song, is great. This cover version is great too.
Gotcha.
All right. That's it for the good that men do. There's no crowdfunding today on my end. You got nothing. So,
yeah.
like literally have nothing in your hands here.
I was gonna say I'm still waiting for my copy of Live from the Dead Side. They release updates. That's one of the great things about this band, about Sound of Thunder, is like they update so much.
That's good though.
And of course, no update from Pledge Music about monies. So,
all right, you ready for some concert news?
I'm ready for concert news.
Okay, let's start off with some festivals. Slipknot, Blink-182, and Tool will headline the 2019 edition of the Aftershock Festival, set to take place October 11th to the 13th at Discovery Park in Sacramento, California. Here are the scheduled performers, and I just kind of pretty much cut the list short at where I stopped knowing people.
Yeah.
All right, so Friday, October 11th is Slipknot, Stained, Lamb of God, Hailstorm, Dropkick Murphys, Sum 41, Clutch, I Prevail, Beartooth, Motionless in White, Andrew WK, and Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals.
Not bad.
Not a bad list there. Saturday, October 12th, is Blink-182, Rob Zombie, Bring Me the Horizon, Marilyn Manson, Stone Temple Pilots, and Bad Religion.
Why is Blink-182 still a thing?
And why are they headlining?
Yeah.
Like, you have Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson on this list on the same day. Either one of them could have headlined over Blink-182.
Well, I mean, Blink-182 is a more commercial seller, of course, but
Yeah, still,
just like
I think this third day would be the one I would really want to check out. Because Sunday, October 13th is Tool, Korn, A Day to Remember, Chevelle, Babymetal, Gojira, Architects, Fu Manchu, and The Crystal Method.
not bad.
I think I would like to see that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the festival as a whole seems pretty fun.
Yeah. And where's that?
That one is in Sacramento, California.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. Check this one out. Exit 111, or 111, I don't know how they're pronouncing it. That festival will debut with a heavyweight lineup that celebrates all forms of rock, from hard to classic, alternative to southern, when it debuts on the same weekend as this previous festival, October 11th through the 13th, at the Great Stage Park in Manchester, Tennessee. The inaugural 3-day event hosted by Eddie Trunk will be led by headlining slots from Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, and Lynyrd Skynyrd. Wow. And a mix of platinum-selling artists, including Slayer, in the last Tennessee show of their career, ZZ Top, Deftones, Ghost, Megadeth, and more than 40 acts.
You know, I decided recently that one of the bands that I want to see, like, I don't know their music very well, but one of the bands that I want to see as a bucket list thing is ZZ Top.
They're celebrating 50.
Yeah, they just to say I saw them, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, and the funny thing is that I think USAA, which is one of the big companies down here, well, they have a huge Christmas party every year.
Yeah,
and I think ZZ Top played their Christmas party one year.
Yeah.
So even if you're not a fan of the band, but you're a member of the USAA team, you get to see ZZ Top for a Christmas party. I mean, how awesome is that?
I think one of the most recent years they had Joan Jett play.
I don't doubt that at all. All right, but here's the lineup as of April 23rd.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Slayer, ZZ Top, Deftones, Ghost, Megadeth, Coheed and Cambria, Lamb of God, Mastodon, Seether, Alter Bridge, Gojira, Cheap Trick, Blackberry Smoke, Black Label Society, Ministry, Skillet, Nothing More, Sleeping with Sirens, Of Mice and Men, Thrice, Whitechapel, Power Trip, Blackstone Cherry, Fever 333, Graveyard, The Cadillac 3, 10 Years, From Ashes to New, Tyler Brandt and the Shakedown, New Year's Day, Alien Weaponry, I love that name, yeah. Bishop Gunn, Dear Sarah, Plague Vendor, Dirty Honey, Tetrarch? I don't know. Tetrarch? Yeah. Watermox, Kyle Shutt, and Oh Brother.
You had me at first, and then you started to lose me, and I was like, what? Who? What?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that this is not even the full lineup.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, all the bands up to, like, Black Label Society and Ministry, I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. All right, but that's it for festival news.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Touring news. Rat has announced a batch of North American tour dates.
Which version?
I was going to get to that. That will take place over the course of the next 5 months. Rat's current lineup includes original singer Stephen Percy and bassist Juan Corsier, along with drummer Peter Holmes, who was in Black and Blue, and guitarist Jordan Ziff, who was in Razor, and Chris Sanders, who was in Britney Fox and Night Fury. Yeah. Stone Temple Pilots and Rival Sons will embark on their first ever co-headlining U.S. tour this fall. Produced by Live Nation, the exclusive 12-city outing will begin September 13th in Baltimore and see the two bands performing on intimate stages across the states, including the Met Philadelphia, Ford Amphitheater in New York City, the Fillmore in New Orleans, and more before wrapping October 9th in San Diego.
I really want to hear the new version of Stone Temple Pilots.
I do too.
I have not heard the new album yet.
I have heard good things, though.
I've heard that the singer sounds a lot like Scott Weiland.
Yes.
So, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing necessarily, because I liked when they teamed up with Chester Bennington. I liked the change up, although he was singing in such a way that it kind of sounded like he was trying to mimic Scott Weiland in a way. So, either way, I would just like to hear it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Power Man 5000 will celebrate the 20th anniversary of his most successful album, Tonight the Stars Revolt, by embarking on a 3-week U.S. tour in June. The trek will kick off on June 12th in Colorado Springs and will end on July 5th in Lubbock. San Antonio date, July 2nd at the Rock Box.
22nd or 25th?
July 2nd.
July 2nd.
2nd.
I thought they were...
Oh, the tour ends on July 5th in Lubbock.
I must have read it wrong online then. But either way, I'm going to that show. The one here in San Antonio because I fucking love that band. I'm just wondering if it's going to be... They're going to play the entire album or something like that.
They did not mention that.
Yeah.
They did not mention that.
Because as far as I know, like the singer Spider is not even that big a fan of that album.
Oh, well.
So
isn't it a shame when like the artists are like not even a fan of like their most famous bits of music?
Well, it's I think his problem with it is himself. He's like I think for that album and the one after it, he's kind of like, you know, like he felt he wasn't confident enough as a singer yet. So, you know, now he feels like, you know, like a stronger frontman. But at the time, he felt like, you know, he wasn't as good as he is now.
Gotcha.
So, but
all right, are you ready to continue?
Yes.
All right. Helmet will celebrate its 30th anniversary by embarking on a European tour this fall. That 30-city trek will see the band performing a 30-song set each night with no openers.
They have 30 songs?
Allegedly so. Or they're just going to perform that one song.
A lot of covers. like James LeBray did.
Whatever. All right, Geddy Lee will sign copies of Geddy Lee's Big Beautiful Book of Bass on a Canadian tour in May and June. One special stop on the tour will be in Calgary, where Lee will open Geddy Lee's Big Beautiful Bass exhibition at Studio Bell at the National Music Center, highlighting a selection of his rare and iconic bass guitars.
Yeah, he's gotta hang them up because Neil Peart's done.
Done.
He's like, nah, I'm not.
Done.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Hashtag no San Antonio date. Sabaton will make their triumphant return to North America this fall for the Great Tour. The headline excursion will feature support from special guest Hammer Fall and will begin in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on October 4th and will end in Silver Spring, Maryland on November 3rd.
Did you see them last tour?
Sabaton? No. I did not. I had tickets to see Hammer Fall and I ended up missing the show because I fell asleep. Yeah, it was one of those days. It was one of those days where you're like, I'm just going to take in, and you're asleep for like 2 days.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Gotcha.
I woke up saying, what year was it?
What happened?
What? I totally had a Lance moment. It was bad.
Had this really long beard.
Oh, God. Rip Van Winkle ain't got nothing on me. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne has announced the rescheduled European dates as part of his No More Tours 2.
Stop.
In early April, the Black Sabbath singer postponed all of his 2019 tour dates, both in North America and Europe, as he recovered from an injury sustained while dealing with his recent bout of pneumonia. The singer fell at his Los Angeles home, aggravating years-old injuries from his 2003 ATV accident that required new surgery. Ozzy's rescheduled European tour with support from Judas Priest will kick off on January 31st at Nottingham's Motorpoint Arena and run until March 16th at Zurich's Hallenstadion.
Fuck's sake, man. Stop.
Right? When you hear about a fall in your home, it's usually about a geriatric who like breaks a hip, and they end up in a home for that sort of thing.
Yeah, they have a commercial for that. It's called Life Alert.
Yeah, Ozzy's definitely got some Life Alert going on. Ugh. Honestly, dude, you just need to chill.
Yeah, stop.
You really do.
Stop.
Hashtag no San Antonio date. Fozzy has announced the Unleashed in the West 2019 headline tour. The U.S. trek, which includes special guest Jared Nichols James, starts on September 5th in Denver and wraps up on September 28th in Atlanta. The Fozzy members will take a break from the studio to tour for the first time in 2019 as they prepare for the release of their new record.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've released something.
Is it?
Not really. 2 years,
Yeah.
2.5.
I've been noticing some of the bands have been kind of churning stuff out quickly as of
Well,
late.
Jericho's got plenty to do. He's got a match coming up against
Kenny Omega,
Kenny
right?
Omega, and I think he's doing the Jericho Cruise again.
Oh. All right. Corrosion and Conformity will kick off the second leg of its North American headlining tour this July. The A Quest to Believe, A Call to the Void 2 tour will commence on July 26th in Poughkeepsie, New York, and run through August 25th in Providence, Rhode Island. Support will be provided by Crowbar as well as Lopan and Quaker City Nighthawks.
That's a great tour title.
Right?
Yeah.
Sanctuary will perform its 1988 debut album Refuge Denied in its entirety on the band's upcoming North American tour. The trek will kick off on July 11th in Atlanta and conclude on August 17th in Seattle. Support on the tour will come from Ghost Ship Octavius.
Cool.
Hashtag no San Antonio date. Skillet and Seven Dust will embark on the co-headline Victorious War tour in August and September. Pop Evil will support, while Devour the Day will open the shows. The tour kicks off on August 11th in Memphis. Slipknot. Oh, I'm sorry. That's it for touring news. We are now off to one-offs.
Okay.
All right. Slipknot has sold out its homecoming show at the Iowa State Fair. On August 10th, a capacity crowd of 16,000 people will pack the grandstand for a historic moment, Slipknot's first ever show at the Des Moines, Iowa Fairgrounds. The momentous performance will see Slipknot celebrating the release of its long-awaited new studio album set to arrive on August 9th. Happy birthday to me.
You buying that for yourself? You already pre-ordered it.
What's that?
Said you buying it for yourself. You already pre-ordered it.
Actually, no, it's not up for pre-order yet.
Yeah.
No, it's not up for pre-order yet. I do have a lot of pre-orders coming in that I kind of almost forgot about. Like, I got, it's a fucking week late, but the new Amon Amarth record's coming out. Humanicide by Death Angel, Rammstein's self-titled new album by Dreadnought, Pelican, and then of course Baroness. So
the Rammstein album I gotta buy. I gotta order somehow, some way.
it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, heavy metal in the charts. Noteworthy points. According to Billboard, Five Finger Death Punch's cover of the Kenny Wayne Shepherd's Blue on Black has landed at number 2 on the Hot Rock Songs chart after the arrival of its new rendition featuring Shepherd, Brantley Gilbert, and Queen's Brian May. The song had 3.7 million U.S. streams and 33,000 sales in the tracking week. Five Finger Death Punch's latest appearance on Hot Rock Songs marks its best rank on the tally, exceeding the number 7 peak of another cover, the band's take on Bad Company's Bad Company in 2010.
So they just beat themselves out.
Yeah.
Cool.
According to Variety, Motley Crue is experiencing a bump on multiple platforms, including downloads, streams, and book sales, following last month's release of the band's biopic, The Dirt, via Netflix. Crue songs were consumed 73.8 million times on Spotify, and nearly 30 million plays were registered at Apple Music, which is a spike of 599% on Spotify and 1,081% on Apple Music, according to the band's management. Song sales also surged, with iTunes reporting 176,000 song purchases, or a 1,330% rise when compared to the average 27-day period in the previous 12 months.
So what they're not doing is, yeah, they're rolling in the money, except for Vince Neil, who's just rolling.
That's kind of scary.
I remember there was I went quickly through Blabbermouth just because I wanted to try to post something to the Shred Shack page real quick, just to keep momentum going. And there was like a multi-angle shot thing of Vince Neil's solo concert. I was like, why would anybody want that?
Right.
Like, who really cares about Vince Neil's solo career?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for this? It's gonna be sad.
Oh, the top 200?
Yeah.
Okay, give me the top 5.
Top 5. Billie Eilish, I guess is her name.
Eilish.
Eilish. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? It's number 1.
Yeah.
Free Spirit by Khalid. Not DJ Khaled, but Khalid.
Yeah.
Map of the Soul, Persona by BTS.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't care. Homecoming, the live album by Beyonce is at number 4.
Not surprising.
And Thank You Next by Ariana Grande is number 5.
Not surprising. Okay.
All right, now beginning the scroll.
All right. Let me get.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait, before we get.
I was gonna get some background music.
Okay, well, what the fuck? Okay, we can just listen to this for a minute.
Okay.
So that's one of those songs that you actually appreciate more the more you listen to it.
I don't think I've actually ever paid attention to the full song. I just know that part.
It's actually a decent song. Bohemian Rhapsody, the soundtrack is at number 17.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Cage the Elephant is, but they have a new record out at number 21.
I heard their song when I was in New York and I didn't like it. So
Number 22, The Triforce by Starbomb.
number 20 what?
Number 22, Starbomb, The Triforce.
What?
Yeah,
Are
buddy.
you fucking serious?
And they are one spot ahead of the Rolling fucking Stones, who have a new album out called Honk.
What? What?
Just let that sink in for a little bit.
Holy shit!
Let that sink in for a little bit. Starbomb, one spot ahead of the Rolling fucking
Well,
Stones.
Starbomb on the charts in general, like
At number 22.
what?
22.
Damn.
So it says something about them, or does it say something about the music industry as a whole?
I don't know, but I'm still waiting for my copy. I bought it. I'm wow. Damn. I need
Surprise, motherfucker.
I need to give you copies of the albums
Okay.
at some point, just for fun.
All right. The Greatest Hits by Queen is at number 41. Diamonds by Elton John is 59. The Dirt soundtrack is at 67.
22.
He's still on it.
I can't.
Journey's Greatest Hits is at 73. Creedence Clearwater Revival at 82. I'm waiting for some surprises here.
Yeah, there's no bigger surprise than what you've already said. So
It's true. A re-entry. What? Did Carrie Underwood do something recently that she's a re-entry at 110 for some reason?
no, it's country.
Guns N' Roses at 113. Greatest Hits. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac is at 120. I love that it's just an album, not just like a greatest hits from Fleetwood Mac that's on the record on the charts here.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Well, because the greatest hits come from that album, so I guess they picked that album.
Yeah. Beatles 1 is at 136. Eagles Greatest Hits 137. Bob Seger is at 138. That's another Greatest Hits. All-time Great Hits by Leonard Skinner is at 144.
Wow, this is a terrible list.
Yeah, oh, here we go. There's a quick 3 for us here. Back in Black 151, Abbey Road 152, and Black Album 153. Quick shot there. Sounds of Summer, the very best of the Beach Boys, 163.
People say that as it's raining and
Yeah, here. Lots of re-entry from Beyonce, so that's not a surprise with her live album coming out.
yeah.
Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3, the Platinum Collection of Queen is 171. Another re-entry from Beyonce. After the Burial, their new album Evergreen is on the charts, debuting at 183.
Cool. I don't know anything about them.
Hey, it's a hard rock heavy metal band on the top 200, so hell yeah. A re-entry from Adele randomly. A lot of re-entries at the top in the last 5 here that we don't care about, like, at all. So let's just move on. You ready for the top 25 hard rock albums?
As ready as I can be.
Okay. Number 25, From the Fires, Greta Van Fleet. Number 24 is a re-entry of 1X by 3 Days Grace. Number 23 is a re-entry, Led Zeppelin 4. Number 22 is another re-entry of Experience Hendrix. It makes me wonder what the last week was like. If these are all re-entries, because we haven't. These are all the ones that we've talked about.
Yeah, these are normal.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what was in the charts last week compared to this week, because we do it every other week.
Yeah.
So I might have to start looking at that. 21, Antennas to Hell, Slipknot. Number 20, Meteora, Linkin Park. Number 19, All the Right Reasons, Nickelback. Number 18, The Greatest Hits by Three Doors Down. Number 17, The Greatest Hits by Aerosmith. Number 16, The Greatest Hits by Foo Fighters. Number 15, The Greatest Hits by Def Leppard. Number 14, The Greatest Hits by Led Zeppelin. Number 13, Trauma by I Prevail.
I was going to say, finally, getting a non-greatest hits.
Yeah. 12, Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. 11, Greatest Hits, The Ultimate Collection, Bon Jovi. 10, Another Greatest Hits for Five Finger Death Punch. Number 9, the new album from After the Burial, Evergreen. Number 8, A Decade of Destruction, Five Finger Death Punch. Number 7, Queen's Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3. Number 6 is the Black Album. Number 5 is Back in Black. Number 4, Greatest Hits, Guns N' Roses. Number 3, The Dirt Soundtrack. Number 2, Greatest Hits, Queen. And number 1, Bohemian Rhapsody, the soundtrack.
Yeah. So, sounds pretty regular to me.
Yep. And let's go to last week.
Oh, you can actually look at last week?
Yes. You can only go back 1 week, looks like. All right. So we are at the week of April 27th. And we will go... Oh. That's random.
What?
Number 25 is Mothership. Number 24 is the Crow soundtrack, but it says new. So I'm wondering if they reissued it.
Aren't they redoing it?
They are rebooting the movie. The movie. Jason Momoa is playing the Crow.
Yeah.
Which should be fun. You know.
So probably, yeah, they're probably.
It doesn't say re-entry. It says new. So it doesn't matter. It's still one of the greatest soundtracks ever. 23 was Antennas to Hell by Slipknot. Number 22, Life Metal by Sun. So that's not a surprise.
Yeah. Because
that was a new release.
Yeah.
21 was Nickelback, All the Right Reasons. 20 was Meteora, Linkin Park. Number 19 was Silverstein, Redux, The First 10 Years. So I'm guessing that's a greatest hits collection.
The fuck, get out of here.
Right. Number 18 was Three Doors Down, greatest hits. Number 17 was Aerosmith's greatest hits, and then Foo Fighters' greatest hits, Def Leppard. All these are pretty much exactly the same order, different numbers. But here's a new one. Was Live at Easy Street EP, which is from Pearl Jam. Yeah. Pearl Jam.
So that got knocked out pretty quick.
Yeah, it did get knocked out pretty quick. And then we got pretty much our normal staple here with A Decade of Destruction, Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3, the Platinum Collection, Black Album, Back in Black, and Guns N' Roses' Greatest Hits. And Justice for None by Five Finger Death Punch was a re-entry last week at number 5.
Really?
Yes. And then From the Fires by Greta Van Fleet was a re-entry at number 4 last week. It's number 25 this week.
Wow.
And that's still their EP. That's not even their album. And they've fallen pretty hard already.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't mention the album.
Yeah,
on the
they've
list.
fallen really hard all of a sudden. Like, I guess everyone got over the novelty of it, or they think it's a novelty. Like, they might need to release a second album just to kind of disprove some people.
Yeah.
You know, and get that momentum back, because they lost an awful lot of it, it seems.
Or everyone who's gonna listen to it has already gotten it.
Or everyone who's going to listen to it is already listening to Zeppelin, the greatest hits, or something like that. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
but it's that's a shame. Yeah. All right, but that's heavy metal in the charts.
Depressing, except for the one random
Starbomb.
Yeah, I can't. I really cannot believe that. That is. Wow.
He still can't get over it.
I can't get because it's one of those things where like it's just a random joke group that
Well, remember when Death Clock released their first record and it was like the best-selling death metal album ever from a cartoon band?
I don't recall that.
I think it was.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you don't really often very much see death metal being advertised in billboards in New York City, but there was a huge
I remember that
billboard for that album. I thought it was amazing.
I remember the billboard. Yes, should have taken a picture of it. But I do recall the billboard for it. But I don't think we have a discussion for this week.
We haven't picked one, no.
So I think we will call it there. We will make our curtain call because Warrior needs food badly.
Actually, it's more like a nap. I had a taco. I had 2 tacos rolling in here.
Yeah. Well, I did not, so I need food badly.
And what are you? If I'm the Warrior, what are you?
The elf.
I'll deal with that. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
I'm not the dwarf. I'm not that short.
To me, you are.
I could be Valkyrie. I'm just making up Gauntlet references now.
Yeah, now we're just kind of going crazy.
We're getting into a different podcast. So until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And we are The Slime.